welcome to Bad Goodbyes. Each week on our show, we spotlight species from the IUCN Critically Endangered Red List. These are plants and animals with decreasing populations, nearing the edges of extinction. And so we'll share species research, information, and conservation proposals, and then we'll spend part of the show opening a space for contemplation and awe. We'll improvise a soundscape of gentleness, of reflection, of delight, and perhaps of grieving. Without conservation activity and significant societal shift, many of these species may not survive the 21st century. So perhaps we might acknowledge their journey with a moment of our attention, a recognition of our kinship, and with a commitment to personal and systemic change. Thank you for listening. On today's show, we consider the Spindle Palm. The spindle palm is a critically endangered flowering palm native to the Republic of Mauritius on Rodrigues Island in the southern Indian Ocean. Its scientific name is Hyophorbe verschaffeltii, and it was first described in 1866. The spindle palm is a medium-sized palm that generally grows to a height of 20 to 30 feet. Their light gray trunk, which lends the tree its name, is widest in the middle, about halfway up the trunk, so skinnier at the bottom near the root base, bulging at roughly the midpoint of their total height, and tapering again, narrow at the top near the crown. This bulge is a water reservoir, allowing the tree to survive seasonal drought by storing water collected during rainy periods. Specialized internal cells absorb moisture and store carbohydrates, expanding and dividing, which results in this swollen midsection. Palm trees have a different growth structure than a deciduous tree like a maple or an oak. Palm do not produce wood, and all growth develops from a single large bud called the apical meristem, which produces new leaves upward. The leaves are attached by a flat, wide sleeve that wraps completely around the trunk. And as the palm continues to grow upward and produce new leaves from the very top, leaves at the bottom die off, leaving behind their leaf base, the sleeve. So a palm trunk's outer layer, its quote-unquote bark, is in fact an accumulation of these past leaf bases, appearing as horizontal rings called leaf scars. Atop the trunk is a roughly 2-foot tall green crown shaft from which the leaves grow. The spindle palm's crown is usually 8 to 10 large pinnate leaves. Pinnate means the leaves have a central stem with many smaller leaflets or leaf blades attached along its length. Picture a stereotypical palm frond. In the case of the spindle palm, these fronds are big. They can reach lengths of roughly 7 feet, with leaf blades as long as 2 feet. These are dark green and have a leathery texture. The spindle palm is monoecious, with distinct male and female flowers growing on the same individual. Its reproductive cycle is continuous, with inflorescences, flower clusters of typically 6 both male and female flowers appearing throughout the year. These small, creamy white to yellowish flowers grow below the palm's crown and are pollinated primarily by insects, particularly bees, drawn to the flower's nectar. The nectar provides a food source for the pollinators, who, unbeknownst, transfer pollen from the male flowers of one individual to the female flowers of another. And then once pollination occurs, the female flowers develop into small oblong fruits that take several months to mature. The fruits are initially green, gradually turning yellow, orange, red, and eventually ripening to a deep blackish purple. The heavy ripened fruit falls from the tree, releasing a single solid brown seed, roughly half an inch in length. Historically, it is believed that the spindle palm's seed were distributed by the now extinct domed Rodrigues giant tortoise and the saddleback Rodrigues giant tortoise, both of whom were harvested, exported for food, or killed in habitat-destroying, land-clearing fires in the 1700s. And so today, there is no natural regeneration in the wild spindle palm population. Pollination is occurring, fruit is being produced, but scientists are not observing any new seedlings. New spindle palm are only being produced through managed human cultivation. Cultivated seedlings can take 10 to 20 years to reach reproductive maturity and start flowering, and we estimate the spindle palm can live 80 to 100 years in the wild. In the dream, a dream of the before times, of palm forest, of dense herds of giant tortoise, flocks of night heron, blue pigeon, and starling, giant day gecko in ebony trees skittering. A green breathing Arcadia, an abundance in balance in the dream. The spindle palm is native to the small island of Rodrigues in the Republic of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. roughly 1,500 miles east of the African mainland. Rodrigues is a volcanic island. Its land area is only 42 square miles, a strip of land roughly 11 miles long and 4 miles wide, surrounded by hundreds of miles of ocean in all directions. The topography is diverse. White beach shorelines meet coastal plains and then give rise to limestone uplands, caves, ravines, ridges that peak at Mont Lemont, a summit a quarter of a mile above sea level. Historically, the spindle palm was found across the island, but today we only find scattered individuals and small concentrations of the remaining population in Insquitor, Grand Montagne, and Ravine de la Cascade. This is a seasonally dry tropical forest biome with marked seasonal contrasts: wet, windy summer months, and then prolonged periods of winter drought. The dry forest ecosystem is adapted to survive limited moisture availability and strong ocean winds. This is a mild tropical maritime climate with high humidity. Summer highs reach into the 90s Fahrenheit and the winter lows dip into the 60s. The island sees roughly 40 inches of rainfall per year, which is concentrated in January, February, and March. In this rainy season, the spindle palm stores water to later be relied on during the dry months of September and October, when the island averages less than 2 inches of rain. The spindle palm shares its island home with mourning gecko, Rodrigues warbler, plain tiger butterfly, pink trumpet tree, beach morning glory, royal blue pansy, red-leg orb weaver, common waxbill, Asian house gecko, tall prickly pear, common passion fruit, Indian garden lizard, brown noddy, blue-billed white tern, black-bellied plover, white-tailed tropic bird, house sparrow, false olive, ruddy turnstone, Rodrigues flying fox, Mauritius hemp, zebra dove, common myna, pink wing stick insect, spotted house gecko, Macao paper wasp, rosy wolf snail, bay cedar, little heron, common bluetail, madras thorn, Rodrigues day gecko, and many, many more. Historically, the spindle palm was abundant on Rodrigues, but roughly 500 years of habitat destruction and human encroachment, specifically deforestation for resource extraction and land clearing for agriculture, has severely diminished their population. Relatedly, human-introduced invasive plant species compete with the palm for scarce water resources. And invasive animals, pigs and goats, have overgrazed the island, feeding on seedlings before they can reach reproductive maturity. And introduced black rats consume seeds before establishment and germination, threatening the natural regeneration of vegetation across the island. Additionally, human-induced climate change resulting from persistent over-reliance on fossil fuels also threatens the island. global warming has resulted in average localized temperatures increasing by 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit compared to mid-20th century baselines. And shifting weather patterns have resulted in longer periods of drought and an increase in severity of powerful cyclonic storms. These storms deliver high winds and flash flooding, snapping tree canopies, stripping foliage, and destabilizing hillside soils. Fortunately, most of the remaining spindle palm are in managed protected wilderness reserves on Rodrigues. In the late 20th century and now presently, the island has made significant progress conserving, protecting, and restoring natural habitats. The Ansquitor and Grand Montagne Reserve both have constructed perimeter fencing to deter invasive mammals, and the land is actively managed to remove both invasive plants and invasive animals. Established in 1997, the island's Solitude Nursery has cultivated 15,000 spindle palm seedlings, and the program has reintroduced 1,000 seedlings back to the island. And a program at the Francois Legault Reserve is exploring the reintroduction of giant tortoises in hopes they may play a similar role to their extinct ancestors in aiding the regeneration of native vegetation. Nevertheless, the spindle palm has been considered critically endangered on the IUCN Red List since 1998, and their population is currently in decline. Our most recent counts estimate that less than 20 adult spindle palm remain in the wild. Information for today's show about the spindle palm was compiled from Gentis Herbarum number 6, from the Annals of the Brazilian Academy of Sciences, volume 85, number 4, from the University of Florida Spindle Palm Fact Sheet, from the Journal of Pollination Ecology, volume 36, from iNaturalist, from the Kew Royal Botanic Gardens, from Oryx, volume 36, number 1, from the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation 2025 Annual Report, from the Annals of Botany, volume 108, number 8, from the IUCN, and from Wikipedia. For more information about conservation on the islands of Mauritius, please see the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation at mauritian-wildlife.org. So in a moment, I would like to perform some music in hopes of making space to be in contemplation of the other beings with whom we share our earth, like the spindle palm. I do not intend to force meaning upon or extract meaning from the spindle palm. Instead, I want this music to simply express my awe for all life. I will pause in the space of sound and reflection, and I warmly invite you to join me. I honor the lives of all Spindle Palm. I will commit their name to my record. I am so grateful to have shared time on our planet with this magnificent being. I lament the ways in which I and my species have harmed and diminished this species. I grieve. So in the name of the Spindle Palm, I pledge to reduce my consumption, my carbon footprint, and my wastefulness. I pledge to acknowledge and attempt to address the costs of my actions and my inactions. I pledge to resist the harm of plant and animal kin and their habitat by individuals, corporations, and governments. I forever pledge my song to the witness and memory of all life, to a broad celebration of biodiversity, and to the total liberation of all beings. This has been Bad at Goodbyes. Thank you for listening. Until next time, let's take care of each other and all of our kin.